Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Fravel, with my co-hosts Ben and Sean. We are back, and it is another Notre Dame win, fourth straight wins for Notre Dame. This last one coming over NC State, beating the Wolfpack 36-7 in South Bend. Kind of a great performance in the second half from the offense. They kind of got it figured out. Another great performance by the defense, which is improving week after week. So we're back. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this one? I know we got the big one, obviously, with USC this weekend. But what were the things you liked, didn't like from the game against the Wolfpack?
Things I liked. Sean's not here, so I'll just go. Here's Sean. Things I liked. I like the way our defense was able to step up when we needed them to. The pass defense with the way these teams have played, like if it's like how we were in the Purdue game, we might be down at halftime against NC State. Like I did not like the third and manageable and short yardage play. I think is kind of just I don't know if he was trying to just open up the playbook a little bit because maybe
Ben, your mic keeps cutting out.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know if Denbrock was trying to open up the playbook because of how we're leading up to something like this, but it sets you up for a trap game, which I don't like. Another thing I don't like is our shitty ACC contract. We should set the fucking thing on fire. Leave the ACC. Leave that terrible ref fucking conference alone. Never go back. Take Clemson with us and take Florida State with us. Miami wants to join. Let them join, but we're gonna go join that. We're gonna make a super conference because this is horse shit. The ACC referees are so fucking terrible. Not even funny. The amount of shit that only happens in the ACC is fucking atrocious.
I mean, you didn't see the Auburn Georgia game.
But the thing in the Auburn Georgia game, the excuse for the they used every angle for that touchdown. The excuse for the ACC, well, only one camera angle showed it as an incomplete pass, so we just upheld it. That's the ACC is the only conference that has that rule.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Brian shaking his fucking boots right now.
Now, I will say the interception was incomplete, the play after, but this was 100% incomplete. But it doesn't matter because we got the ball back to get a field goal anyway. So, I mean, ball don't lie, but I don't mind the ACC contract. Every time I play EA college football with Notre Dame, I put them in the ACC because of it. So, I thought it was great to see the defense step up yet again. Playing them the way we did. The first half was kind of slow, but they really picked it up in the second half. And CJ Carr is the real deal. I say this every week, but wow. Defense looked great. They're starting to get aggressive. I don't know if I believe Chris Ash when he says that they're still doing the same exact thing, just better. But maybe they are. I don't know. But, I think we might have maybe overreacted because we played two really good teams early in the year. But, they got established, and they're getting better and playing solid defense. Offensively, you lose our starting center for this season, Ashton Craig. So it's going to suck, but Otting will step in, and he looked good at the end of the game. So you have to have hope that the offensive line will still be as good. For being halfway through the season and only having that so far really as the main big injury is a good thing. So solid game, very happy and very proud of how they played this weekend.
Yeah, so this was one of the worst officiated games I've probably ever seen. I thought last week against Boise was pretty bad with all the penalties. Um, this one was my brain doesn't understand how this is a catch. Um, I I feel like what we learned Saturday was that we don't know what a catch is. I don't think the officials know what a catch is. Evidently, you can drop the ball, it bounce off the ground, and you can still catch it. I didn't know that. I don't know if you guys knew that. The one about the Christian Gray one, I'd be completely fine if they called that incomplete. If they would have called this incomplete,
My
that's
my main thing with Christian Gray one is that they called it complete. Like the guy called it a pick, and then the line judge came out and said, "No, that's not an interception." Even though the line judge couldn't see the play. That's my problem with the Christian Gray one. Is that if they call that a pick, they know it's got to go to review anyway. If they call that a pick, you go to review. If you find some camera angle that shows you it's not, you drop the ball and you call it. But that's an upheld and that's a pick. Like, let's be real here. That's probably got to get upheld. And the fact that the line judge came over and said it's a complete pass was bullshit. When he was not his play to call.
Yeah. I also my other issue with this game, right? I think obviously the defense played great. I think the defense played phenomenal. Um, the offense in terms of short yardage, the offense had no problem moving the ball up and down the field at will against NC State. Every time we got in the red zone, it seemed like it was pulling teeth. And I know that in football, it's pretty normal for you to, the closer you get to the red zone, it becomes harder because you have less space. But man, the amount of fourth and shorts, third and shorts that instead of handing the ball off to your two best backs in college football, you decide to have Carr go out on bootlegs. With one of them, there was nobody there in the flat for him to throw the ball to. The other one, it was a late developing route that Carr had to wait for, but he didn't have time to wait for because there was defensive linemen right in his face. And then what was it, the other one that led to a pick that should have been a defensive PI, but the ref said it wasn't PI because it was intercepted. I've never heard that before. So I just don't get the short yardage play calls by Denbrock. I feel like we're getting too cute on those instead of just doing what we need to do to get the yardage. I feel like he's too focused on the window dressing, right? Trying to make it look pretty, and I just don't get it. Like I feel like it was last year when we needed a 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. I get it was different personnel, but we weren't. It wasn't cute. Didn't look the greatest. We just had QB sneak up the middle, QB draw with Riley and got the first down and moved on. I don't get why we can't just hand the ball off to Love or Price and expect that we're going to get that first down. If you can't, to me, like if you can't get a yard with Jeremiah Love or Jadarian Price against NC State, and even this week against USC.
Here's the thing.
Well,
I actually loved the first play call on the 4th and short where you roll out to the right, and because it looked like they were heavy blitzing to stop the run. So a pass play there, I like that call. I felt like it was smart. It could have been like if it was successful and they just were very prepared for it. The other ones, though, I do agree with you that 9 times out of 10, they need to give it to Love or Jadarian Price, and they just haven't been, and it hasn't been effective, and it's an issue they need to work on. But I actually didn't hate the play call. It just, if it worked, nobody would be talking about it, right? So
I'll give I'll give the benefit of the doubt on this with the Denver on the pick one in the red zone. I don't know what happened, if there was a mistake at the line. That play was all fucked up on 3rd down. They should have called a timeout. And not ran a play. It was all messed up on 3rd down. Yeah. So you're already off script. So you're trying to figure out what you're doing there.
Just take points, man. Sometimes.
On that one, he should have just kicked the field goal. I don't know why we're going for a touchdown there.
3, you kicked the field goal.
Yeah, especially we got ball at half, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I almost
especially with that.
Ben, I almost wonder if it's part of it is, and they've talked about this on the broadcast, is Freeman understands that with the position that they were in, you want style points. and you want to pour it
Fuck
on teams
no.
that you should pour it on.
This is the problem with what we're trying to do. We're trying to go out there and make the college football playoffs. Fuck making the college football playoffs. Our goal should be 10-2. Win 10 straight games. If the college football playoffs come from it, then it comes from it. It's probably got to come for it. I don't know why we give a shit about style points. Style points are stupid. They are dumb. Nobody cares about style points. It's Marcus Freeman, if that is really what his goal is to get style points, then we need to change that real fast this week because we're not going to get style points at USC. We're going to have to go out there and kick their ass.
I mean,
We're
but
not
when you're
getting
playing
style
NC
points.
State, I mean, you gotta. I think that at the
Just
time,
win the game.
yes, but at the time, like a lot of people were saying, you got to blow out these teams. Like you can't just you got to blow them out. I think that is why, and I think style points. Why nobody cares? I do agree with you, but at the same time, if we beat NC State by 3 and beat Boise State by 3, people are gonna be like, "Wow, this team sucks."
I mean, why else? Why else do you go for a 4th
But
and 12
we
fake against Arkansas? Why else do you do that? You don't do
what?
that unless you're like
A 4 for 12 just because you want to open up the. Had we run a fake all year?
we had. Well, yeah, we
We-
ran one.
but
We ran one.
When did we run a fake?
Arkansas was the first fake punt.
Was it? Was it? Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like you opened up the playbook. And also be realistically, we were up by what 30 points.
Yeah.
No, at that point, I think we were up 3 scores.
But yeah, so we're up by a decent amount. Why not go out there and run a fake? Just see what you have to open the playbook. That's understandable. My thing is why do we keep bending our knee to this idea that college the playoff committee's not gonna put a 10-2 Notre Dame game in unless they dominate. Like what are we talking about, guys? They're gonna put a 10-2 Notre Dame team in because Notre Dame's gonna have a ranked win against USC. At this point they might even have a ranked win against Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's looking good. I don't think anyone. And
Navy will probably be ranked.
Maybe
Navy beats North Texas.
I don't know. I don't know Navy football that well. I'm not going to lie. Blake Horvitz still the quarterback.
Yeah, Blake Horvath. Yeah.
So yeah, they might beat North Texas. Even if they don't, I think a 8-win Navy team's a good win. Because at that point they'd be 8 wins, right? Or is it 7 wins at that point? Even if they lose to North Texas.
Yeah, they'd be 8-0 if they beat North Texas, or 7-0 if they 8-0 if they beat.
Okay, so it'd be a 7-win Navy team. I think that's a good win at the time. So I'm fine with that. I don't know if it'll be ranked. My main point is that you look at the way you can't really tell me that they're not going to put Notre Dame in the college football playoffs at this point. Like
I mean, but now because the difference between 16, 17, and 13, yes, now they're not going to give a fuck about style points. Now they know they're in the position where they're one spot out and they got to win out to get in. Which, let's see. This is the AP poll. The college football playoff poll could be different. Do I think it will be? No. But
I think we're going to be I think we'll either be one spot down or the same. I don't know if we'll be one spot up. I've been hearing people say we might be one spot up. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So, and here, but again, my concern, right? And because I've heard Greg McElroy was talking about. He said that he still thinks the offense is elite at Notre Dame. He thinks that it could just be, an anomaly what happened against Boise State and NC State with the short yardage. Because realistically, we had no issue with short yardage against Texas A&M. We didn't have issues with short yardage against Purdue. We didn't have issues with short yardage against Miami.
Except for that pick on that screen.
It's pick on the screen. So he wonders if it's just, Notre Dame's kind of getting in their own head a little bit, like we talked about with trying to get too cute. The staff's trying to put up points and, touchdowns instead of field goals. He said, I don't think that'll be the mindset coming into USC. But it does concern me a little bit because I have noticed the offensive line, at least the last 2 games, has struggled to handle their blocks, whether it is a run play or a pass play on 3rd and short, 4th and 2. We should be – we're Notre Dame. We should be able to push NC State off the ball and get 2 yards. We should be able to push Boise State off the ball and get 2 yards. If we can't do that against them consistently, who can we do that against? I think it's an interesting.
I think on that part, I think we
Look
just
at
had
the
a.
defensive ranks.
I think we had a bad game for our O-line. I think our O-line just didn't look good. I think they weren't prepared. And that's one thing that we see with Joe Rudolph. There's like 1 or 2 games every year where it feels like our O-line kind of just was not prepared for what they were getting themselves into. So, yeah, and word shot. Oh, there's Frable. Oh, Frable's back.
Look,
Oh, there goes Frable.
Look at their defensive ranks for the rest of the year, though. It's like, I mean,
The only game I'm scared about is Pitt when it comes to like the middle game, because for some reason I feel like the Pitt game screams like, oh, when we get the ball we have to score, because I feel like Pitt's got to have the ability to take 7 minutes off the clock.
They already got their win against Florida State. I think. I mean, I think that
I think they're better. I think they're a better team than Florida State. I didn't think Florida State was that good. That's why I thought Alabama was really bad, because I didn't think Florida State was that good.
I'm very intrigued to see like the O-line, the O-line this week, how they're going to respond to that. It's so funny. Why can't we have nice things? Because it's like we have 2 straight years of an elite defense, and then we finally get a quarterback, and the O-line isn't as good a little bit, and then the defense isn't as good a little bit. It's like, why can't this all flow together? Very frustrating. Yeah. But I think if this team makes the playoffs, this is going to be a very dangerous team. Very dangerous team.
And that's the one of the biggest things about teams that are dangerous come playoffs is like when the teams like Notre Dame, if they have a really good, that's usually the problem. It's usually they have a really good defense and their defense carries them all the way to the playoffs, and then they win these really close games. Notre Dame, they have a really good offense and their defense is slowly more and more improving. So if we get to the playoffs and our defense is like back to what it was last year, we might be the most dangerous team in the country. We might be close to what Ohio State was last year. I don't think we would be, but if our defense gets,
all I ask is one. Please, just one. All I need to see is one.
If the defense gets back to that last year's level of defense, I think we are the most dangerous team in the country because our offense is possibly the most dangerous offense in the country. The closest team to that is maybe Ole Miss.
Ryan, before and after the USC, you have listed tonight something that's right. We're going to talk about it, right? You should know what I'm talking about.
Marcus Freeman going to Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman going to Penn State, Florida.
Let's talk about it because, I have opinions about it. I'll kick it off if you want to.
I heard Marcus Freeman's actually going to go and be the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, yeah. I also heard that Sidney Sweeney's the next coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. No, I'm pissed because this is what pisses me off about it because it's such clickbait, right? And what makes me so mad when I'm disappointed on 3-4 is, yes, they're going to take swings at big coaches, but if you say there's multiple coaches, including Marcus Freeman, there's no signs of interest from Freeman, but why is he the only coach that you're posting? Right?
Because he's the best coach. Is he the best coach? No, he's not the best coach in college football.
He might be the best coach they're reaching out to.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, why? You just signed a new contract. Why would you leave for a school that's arguably worse?
It's a downgrade.
They make less money. They have in terms of a lot of things, their regression. You beat them last year. Why would you go there? And you already built this team to what you want to be. So then leave and build that. It makes no sense. And yes,
this is why you go there.
But do you?
And they pay him $18 million.
But do you really think that Notre Dame will not pay him?
I think Notre Dame will match.
I don't think we pay him $18 million. I think we give him a raise. I think we give him a suitable raise.
See, I think Notre Dame.
I think us giving him a suitable raise will match whatever Penn State gives him.
Here's the
thing, I think the most Penn State gives him is 18-19.
But when you make $15 million, what's the difference between $15 million and $18 million?
Not much, but he's not making $15 million. He's making maybe 9 or 10. That's what I'm saying. I think we give him a raise.
So hold on, right now, hold on. So right now in his current deal, so he's finishing out his original contract. This is his last year. He's making 7.5. Once after this year, his extension will kick in, which is around $12 million, which is outside of Dan Lanning is the highest paid head coach that has not won a national championship.
Yeah.
So
Like I think that's why I think if they give, I could see Penn State offering if they offer him like 22 million, I wouldn't blame him for taking it. At that point, it's like Penn State's fucking, they're a whole new monster and they're doing something that I don't think they have the capability of doing.
They don't. They owe James Franklin all that fucking money.
Well,
Which I read something that if he
they're not
accepts a
going to.
coaching job, they might not have to owe him.
They only have to pay him 30 million if he accepts a coaching job within next year, a head coaching job next year.
And here's the thing,
What they're
though.
also doing is they're not paying James Franklin 50 million up front. They're
Okay.
paying. They're probably got to pay him 26 million. Because they were talking about it on Penn State. The Spaces Day. They had one of the Penn State like athletic people in there, the people that work with the AD department. They're like they're going to pay him around $20 million, and then over the next 3 years, he's got to get a guaranteed paycheck of like $10 million.
Why show this when there's other coaches listed, and you just show this for clickbait? There's been nothing for Notre Dame to go to Penn State, and it's a downgrade.
I think they do it because he's the best head coach out of all the coaches they listed. Because in this article, it was Matt.
I mean, let's be realistic. There is no chance that even everybody at On 3 on the Notre Dame side was like, of course, if you're any school, you're going to offer the best. Who cares who you are if it's Bama, Penn State, Notre Dame? You're going to try. But he's not leaving Notre Dame for Penn State. Let's be realistic. If
they offer enough money, he would. I don't think they will.
I don't think he would even.
I think the only job Freeman would ever leave
is Ohio State.
Yeah.
To me, like, even if Penn State offers him slightly more money, right?
Freeman's not about the money.
I'm saying if Marcus Freeman leaves, it's not got to be slightly more money. I'm saying it's going to be $10 million more.
Here's the thing. He won't, and I really don't think Marcus Freeman cares that much when he's already making millions about money. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the University of Notre Dame and what he can do to make it better.
I think he does, but realistically speaking, you have to look at it from his perspective. He signs a 10-year, $22 million a year deal. That is retirement money. That is Nick Saban level shit.
He could retire with his current fucking contract.
He could retire with the current contract, but this is something where you work that contract out, and realistically, even if they buy you out, like let's say if it doesn't work out, or even something like that, even though I think it would work out because Marcus Freeman's an amazing coach, let's say something like that happens, you still get an immense amount of money, and you could go do whatever. I'm just saying it would not be shocking for if it were to be $22 million, you took it. And if I were him, I'd do it too. I'd give you $22 million reasons.
Who's an alumni? You have so many other coaches that I think are going to have the opportunity. I just don't think there aren't many jobs better, especially in the NIL era, than Notre Dame. Notre Dame is one of the best jobs you can have. You don't leave that. Kirby Smart's not leaving Georgia to go coach at Penn State. Marcus Freeman is not leaving Notre Dame to coach it.
Even what Dan Lanning?
Do you think maybe the job would be easier?
No.
I think it would.
No,
I don't.
Penn State. I talked about this. My brother-in-law is a Penn State fan, and the hard part about Penn State, and I got another friend that has a brother that goes there because I'm from that area, and you're great for recruiting the Pennsylvania kids, but it's sad because as a program, they're known and they're one of the best, but they're not Michigan, Ohio State, and the Big Ten. They're not Notre Dame outside the country.
Not even Oregon.
They're kind of they're tier 2 in their conference.
I don't know if they're tier 2. Let's be real here.
They're
I don't
not
know
Ohio State. Tier 2 is
Ohio State, Michigan.
But they're on par.
I think tier 1 is Ohio State, Michigan, USC, and Penn State.
Penn State is not on tier with them, though.
They
don't make as much money as them. They make a lot of money, but
they make similar amount of money to Ohio State.
Wait a minute. You don't think Oregon's tier 1?
Oh wait, Oregon too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think Penn State is slightly below them.
I think if you were to rank the job, and we did this with of course you know who Cornwall is, Ryan. I don't know if you've ever been in there with Cornwall before, Sean, but we did it with Cornwall. I would put the job top jobs in the Big Ten. It would be, of course, it'd be Ohio State, Michigan, and it'd be Oregon, USC, then Penn State. And realistically, I would flip. I think it's justifiable to flip flop Penn State, USC.
But if you're the 5th best team in your conference, and you're at Notre Dame, if you're the 5th best team in the conference, you're not higher than most of the Big Ten teams, Notre Dame, SEC teams. Arguably, to be honest, Florida State or Clemson's arguably a better job than
no. You just what Clemson? I don't think Clemson's a good job at all for anybody right now.
I'd say
Clemson has a problem with their own boosters not wanting to give money because Dabo Swinney sold them on this idea that NFL's not going to last.
But mainly Florida State. I said arguably.
So here's my
Florida State, I can see that, yeah.
It's a downgrade. It is a downgrade for Freeman.
This is a downgrade.
It is. It is. I'm just saying you got to look out for multiple different things. If it's in that $10 million more, it's understandable in my mind.
Not only do they have to pay that, but they would also have to buy out Marcus Freeman's contract.
Buyout for Freeman's contract's only like $11 million if they do it this year.
On top of that, and let's be realistic here. He already established himself at Notre Dame. He loves Notre Dame.
I don't think he has
to reestablish himself.
I don't think he has to buy. I don't think they have to buy out his contract because he's in between the extension year. They have to buy out the contract from the existing year, and there's no more years left on that contract because next year he starts his new contract, right?
Yeah, and next year it starts. It kicks in.
I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen, but of course I like to play tit for tat with this shit. But if he was offered $22 million, I would not think it's a terrible thing for him to take.
There's a reason, too, that a lot of either insiders at Notre Dame or people in the college football world have talked about this and have said, no way.
I don't know. I just think that if he gets offered 22, if it's something where he's almost doubling his current contract, I would not not be against it.
I do have a question. Because as I was looking for this post, someone Titans account made a graphic of Marcus Freeman.
No, he's not going to the NFL.
Coach. Do we think that if an NFL team comes calling with a decent size,
Marcus Freeman is how old? What's Marcus Freeman? 36.
Let me see.
He might not be 36. He's 34.
I thought he was 37, but
he might be 37.
He is 39.
He's 39. 5 more years. I think. Yeah, he looks a lot younger. Yeah, 5 more years. 45. I think that's where he'll go.
My dad told me that he was like, in the next 10 years, I think he goes to the NFL. I straight up told him. I was like, fuck off. Like, I just think I'm going to be realistic, and this is how. Then I'll be very short with this. There are coaches that are NFL coaches. There are coaches that are college football coaches. There's coaches that are both. And I'm going to be realistic. Kirby Smart. Nowadays, the appeal to the NFL isn't as appealing in the landscape of college football coaches when you're making either more or the same. And coaches like Kirby Smart and all of them are staying in college football. I think I think Marcus Freeman, how he relates to players as a player's coach, if he's coaching players the same age as him, is it going to be as big of a message as if he's coaching 18-year-olds? And I just think that he's better suited for college, and I think he knows that and understands that.
Well, my main thing with it is he's only had, this is fourth year as a head coach in college football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that, he's not an NFL coach, because I don't know that. He's 4th year in. Difference between him and Kirby Smart Kirby Smart was an OS. When Kirby Smart, his first head coaching job was Georgia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was at 54 he got that job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Kirby Smart got into the head coaching job a lot later than Freeman, so when it shot, because it's got to be the same thing with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin went to the NFL because he thought that, I'm really ahead of the game. I think I have the ability to take this risk, and if it doesn't work out, I go back. Jim Harbaugh, same thing. Jim Harbaugh was like 48. He wanted to take a risk in the NFL. He came back.
I think, too, like the aspect of this, I just don't see it. And I did see a post, and this is what I think Penn State should do. Last year, of the 12 teams in the college football playoff, I believe 8 out of the 12. I could be mistaken, but it was like 7 or 8 out of the 12 was a check mark for first-year head coaches with that team. Like, whether it was Kirby Smart, Marcus Freeman,
Dan Lanning,
right? All of them.
You mean that was their first coaching job?
Yes, as a head coach. Yeah. So, if I'm Penn State, you could go after Signetti, which I wouldn't leave. I think they're going to probably get Matt Rule or Matt Campbell. But if you got to consider going after a young coordinator to establish himself. You got to consider
And
it.
you know what? I've talked to Cornwall about this and some other guys I know in the Penn State fandom that are actually pretty cool, unlike most of their fan base. I was like,
Are
I
you
feel
saying
like,
people that defend pedophiles aren't cool?
yeah, I
Keep
do.
going.
I do. I mentioned it. I'm like, I think you guys. I get Matt Rule. I get Matt Campbell. I personally think if you want to kind of break down that foundation that James Franklin brought in, but at the same time bring some revitalized energy and excitement into the program, while also kind of eventually breaking that ceiling that's been on Penn State football for the last decade plus. I think it would be smart to do what Notre Dame and Oregon did. Like Sean said, go out there and get a young coordinator that that will grind on the recruiting trail, do whatever it takes, give him his first head coaching job, let him bring some of that young revamped energy into the program, get some excitement, get some buy-in from the boosters, and do it from there.
Schedule next year is easy enough too.
Because think about it. No, what was Notre Dame and Oregon prior to hiring Dan Lanning and hiring Marcus?
Notre Dame and Oregon both hired in house.
No, Dan Lanning they just brought him from work. They brought him
Dan Lanning their OC.
No, he was the DC at Georgia.
Was DC at Georgia.
Yeah.
Never mind. Keep going.
What was Notre Dame and Oregon before Brian Kelly and Mario Cristobal left Oregon and Notre Dame? What were those two teams? They were 10-2 teams, borderline playoff teams every year. They were, but what could they never do? They could never win those big games under those two coaches. They brought in Dan Lanning. They brought in Marcus Freeman. Yes, it took a little bit for those programs to kind of get going. Anytime you hire a new head coach who wants to implement his philosophy, but look at where Notre Dame and Oregon are now. You could argue that both of those programs are in a better spot now than they were under the previous coaches they had.
The only coordinator I see Penn State maybe hiring is the IU coordinator. Yeah. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I will say
that's the only one I see him doing.
I would like to see if y'all could guess what I'm thinking. I know the perfect job for James Franklin. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect. And can y'all both get one guess and guess what it is?
It's the Vandy OC job.
Arkansas.
No, it's Virginia Tech. That is the perfect job for him. Because he's good at those programs like Vanderbilt, and Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt kind of similar. I probably would rather have Virginia Tech, but similar.
Brian Haynes, that's what I was thinking of.
You could make a program like that. You're in the Pennsylvania area, right? You can make that ACC power school. And James Franklin, yes, he has his shit as a coach, but he is good at winning games he's supposed to and establishing programs like he did at Vanderbilt and Penn State. And I think that Virginia Tech would be a fantastic job for him.
My only thing with the Virginia Tech thing is that they're going to have to be a program that constantly competes with Virginia for players. I don't think Franklin can do that.
Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
He didn't really compete with Vandy. He never really beat Tennessee out for players at Vandy.
Another thing I would say is some other
guys. He got 3 stars and made them into 4 and 5 star athletes. That's one thing Franklin did. Now Penn State, he's all by himself. I think it would take a while for it.
I think Will Stein, the OC at Oregon, would be a good hire. I also think, and was it Andy and Ari were talking about this on their show? Some people that people aren't talking about, but they think would be a great hire if you were going like the Notre Dame Oregon route, would be the USC DC. The defensive coordinator. He is a Penn State alum. He's a Penn State alum, former, and he's one of the best young coordinators in college football. He's a great recruiter. That would be
The
something
thing,
I would look at.
the thing is, with what they did, they're paying, like, at the end of all of it, they're going to pay this guy $50 million, and they fired him mid-season. I have a feeling they're not going to settle for a coordinator. I have a feeling it's going to be a head coach, or it's got to be legitimately a coordinator who is looking top-tier shit. USC's defense is not looking top-tier shit. The only coordinator I said that's doing that, well, Will Stein's one, but Brian Haynes is the other.
Before we go on to USC, I'm going to say two things. Something I feel, and of course I don't know Marcus Freeman, but like I just feel in my heart that Marcus Freeman, and this is no shot at you, Ben, and you have your opinion, that's okay, but I feel, and maybe it's because I'm dumb for it, but I feel in my heart that Marcus Freeman isn't in it for the money like that, and he's making enough money to where he truly cares about Notre Dame and wants to bring success for Notre Dame. And if it happens, it happens. But I think we can all agree that this report being clickbait because it's a top report. Let's be realistic. Either no chance or very unlikely. He's staying at Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, I think he stays no matter what.
The problem is you have shit like this, and then I'm sure you saw that post that went viral.
What do I tell you every single time? And it's always the exact same words. You have shit like this, and what do I tell you, Favor, every single time?
What?
What does 229 tell you every single time?
Touch grass?
Go touch grass. No one gives a shit what 1-3 thinks. They're a shitty fucking they're a shitty reporting company who makes money off of saying that certain high schoolers got to be this good in college football, and they're never really that good at college football. They're always wrong, and they're shit at it. Why do we listen to one for this? We let the media in college football control so much that we think that we have to listen to him for every single thing. There's people out there that really think Marcus Freeman's got to leave for Penn State. It's not just Penn State fans. It's actual idiots out there who think that. Because all they do is listen to fucking 1-3. Stop listening to 1-3.
Well,
I mean,
the problem
Ryan,
is,
Ryan,
you'll
you
see.
agree. Ryan, you agree it's not happening, right?
It's not happening.
But what I'm saying is, the thing that pisses me off, right, is I hadn't been on my phone for a lot of the day. I get on my phone, and I get tagged in a Penn State fan that made a post off of this, and it's blowing up. And they said, oh, shit, looks like Penn State's going to steal Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. They're in contact with, according to Pete Nakos, they're in contact with Marcus Freeman's agents. I click on the article, and that's not what it says. The article says that Pete Nakos expects them to try to target Marcus Freeman and reach out. They haven't yet. So I don't know where. They're like, well, Penn State Illustrated or whatever the fuck, they're on 3
Penn State Illustrated said that Urban Meyer is a prospect to be the fucking head coach. Fuck Penn State Illustrated, dude.
And then you had Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn was on Always Irish, and he's like, I know Urban Meyer personally, and he said, we were just shooting the shit, and I saw the Penn State thing come up, and I brought it up to him, and he's like, no. He's like, that's not happening. That is not happening.
Before we get into USC, I do want to say this because I'm not going to wear a hat of a team that currently rosters a USC wide receiver. My team owns this fucking podcast. They beat the Cardinals this weekend. I'm cheering for the best team in the podcast. Okay, let me take that off and we talk about USC.
Before we go, I mean, say it for the viewers. Marcus Freeman is what?
Notre Dame all day, every day.
Yes. All right.
But I will say though, I do think
our golden pick.
Our golden brick, yeah.
Our golden brick.
My golden brick, I'm bricked up 10 out of 10 confidence.
That's a cough.
I do think
Penn State Illustrated, that fucking shitty fucking writing.
I do get what well, you know what, and to your point, Ben, On3 hires people like EJ Holland. So you know.
That's my thing. No fucking reporting site would have that clown be able to write for them. Okay, like, and you know what? You can go back in my closet all you want. You can find all the stupid tweets I've said about college football players. EJ Holland is the reason Michigan had to pay Bryce Underwood an extra $4 million fucking dollars. No one should hire that fucking clown.
Can I be honest too with Notre Dame media, specifically Notre Dame media? I know a lot of people were like this, and I didn't really care about it. But specifically, I think it's Pete Sampson and the other guy's Matt. I'm starting to get a little frustrated of non-Notre Dame beat reporters or Notre Dame guys covering Notre Dame. Like,
Yeah, like
non
Mike
Notre
Singer.
Dame fans? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
non
Mike
Notre Dame
Singer,
fans like Mike Singer.
I feel like Mike Singer at least like cares. I don't know.
It's a
I don't know.
business opportunity.
I feel like you at least care, but I mean, I don't know. Those two, it
Oh,
just always
that's
feels,
who you got. I'm going with Mike Singer for Halloween this year.
yeah.
You mean the same Mike Singer? The same Mike Singer that when we lost to Marshall and IU was like, guys, I don't get why you guys are all bent out of shape. Calm down. Let's not lose our shit.
Okay, wait. For Mike Singer's defense, he was right on the second one. He was right. So we can't give him that much shit. He was correct.
Yeah. I mean,
but go on, Sean.
It's just fun. Like you see them, like, and they're kind of like, I don't know, like they say some shit on social media or something. It's like, shut up, man.
Mike Singer going into the fucking coach's office for a special meeting after leaking Kenny Minchie was supposed to be our starting quarterback. If it's the Goodfellas clip of where they blow his head off.
He is not.
That was still that. I still think that was Marcus Freeman just fucking playing mental mind games with the media group so they stop bothering him.
You know what? I saw somebody bring up that what if Freeman did that to push CJ, right? To develop in camp to make him think that he had to look over his shoulder to push him harder so that he could be the best version of himself right away.
Because this is the same guy that hired Chris Ash.
Which Chris Ash is getting better.
Well, okay. Guess what also gets better over time? Everything that fucking sucks.
No, because what's his name?
Once you hit rock bottom, you can't dig anymore down, so you better just start climbing.
Brand Van Gorder got worse.
Yeah.
Somehow.
All right, let's talk about USC.
All right.
Also, Bubakar Traore
is one of the best pass rushers in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
I wonder if he goes to the draft, but
before we get into USC, a message from our guy Mark.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Thank you for that, Mark. So, odds are powered by our friends over at Novig. Number 20 USC at number 16, or number 13 Notre Dame. Got to change that. Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite. The over-under is 61.5 currently. First things first. Thoughts on the spread? Thoughts on the over-under? Like it? Not like it? How are we feeling?
I thought the spread was a little high. Is it just?
It is a little high.
Was it like 9.5, 10 points? Like whoa, like.
Yeah, that spread's super high.
Yeah, I would not take the spread. I'm picking Notre Dame, but it's so funny because I said if we didn't go 12-0, I was like we'd go 11-1 and lose to USC, and it's funny because we lost 2 games and watch this be the one that we end up winning. But I think we win, but I think it's going to be like by a field goal or a touchdown.
Yeah, I think plus 9.5's to play here. I like last year it was kind of like an off year for it because actually the past few years have really been off years for it.
Yeah,
my personal opinion.
Last time it was USC at Notre Dame. Me and Ryan went to that game 2 years ago, and they just blew Caleb Williams out the freaking water.
Well, 2 years ago it was. If I remember correctly, 2 years ago Notre Dame
were underdogs.
2 years ago Notre Dame was favored by 3. going into the game.
Or yeah, well, underdogs for being a home team.
And then
4 points as a home team is basically saying they think it's a 50-50 coin flip.
We were favored by less last year, if I'm not mistaken.
we were
favored by a touchdown last year.
Yeah, I don't like the spread.
Like, I just think everything in my mind is telling me 9.5 is a lock here. I just don't see this being like, just because of how it is with the rivalry now, I don't see it being like the past few years. This is definitely gonna be a way closer game than 10 points. Maybe if it's like we get a field goal at the end, like I could see 10 points hitting, but I just can't put money on that.
So if you want,
and then under 61.5.
If you want to go and get these odds, go over and use code VOCFBND when you sign up for Novig. Remember, participants must be 21 years or older. If you have a gambling problem like our boy Ben, make sure you call 1-800-GAMBLER. Get yourself some help.
Hey, your boy Ben is up like fucking $400 this month, so hop off his balls.
So it is officially hate week, right? Fuck USC.
Can't spell that USC.
Never trust the Trojan. They always bust on you.
Pause.
No pause. Play.
The Trojans busted on you, but
yeah. Or no. So I'm just saying, like, USC
golden bricked.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. They were golden bricked, is what it sounds like. They busted on them. I will say this: USC alumni, they had this ability of being involved in knife altercations. O.J. Simpson and Mark Sanchez. But there's one USC alumni that we forget about the most. The year they won the national championship, who was basically a fucking cartel dealer. Have you guys saw that Amazon Prime thing?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta watch it. I gotta remember the guy's name. They made an Amazon Prime documentary. It was like, okay, the guy did not play on the team. Like, he was a guy who got recruited but never ended up playing. He's like this big top. He was a big top drug dealer, and he was able to get the team whatever they wanted and things like that. I forget what they call. I gotta look it up.
Are you comparing it to this year with Mark Sanchez?
Oh no, I just want to talk shit about USC because it's such a shitty fucking organization.
No.
Dude,
What is the correlation? I was like, what am I waiting for?
I saw a meme that was like, how many days has it been since one of your former players stabbed and beat up an Uber driver?
Well, technically speaking, he did not stab him.
Or not, got stabbed and beat up a DoorDash driver. And it was like the Notre Dame was like, never USC. Oh, like 9 days ago.
Yeah. How many days since your Heisman? How many days since the Heisman Trophy winning running back, who's the best player in your program's history, killed his ex-wife and her boyfriend waiter on a random Tuesday night?
Yeah, I saw the Teo one and the Simpson one. Oh.
Yeah. The series is called Cocaine Quarterback Signal Caller for the Cartel. It's a Amazon Prime series. It was Owen Hansen.
But yeah, I look at
this one though, since he's like 80 years old. Do you remember Owen Hansen?
Shut up.
I do. To me personally, I like the line because I think Notre Dame wins this game by 2 touchdowns for the second year in a row. I think the problem is, right, I think a lot of people are bought into, and we're gonna disagree on this, but I think a lot of people are putting too much stock into what USC did against Michigan last week, and are forgetting what they did 2 weeks ago against Illinois. I think the reason that people are saying USC beating Michigan is a monumental victory for that program. That Michigan team has no offense at all. They have no semblance of offense.
They're not winning back-to-back. I'm not
gonna lie to you, Ryan.
They're playing like that back-to-back top 15 games? No.
Ryan, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not upset because you're wrong. I'm upset because for once in my fucking life, I agree with you on something.
Yeah, like
this feels so unnatural.
Shocker! This is crazy. This is like the first time me and Ben have ever agreed on anything.
Let's make history. For the first time on the podcast,
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Agree on something.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, no, I don't think it'll be I don't think we're gonna win by 14. But I do agree. I think people are treating this Michigan win against a shitty Michigan team.
Which good.
Yeah,
Give
too
us our
high.
ranked team. Give it. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
listen,
I was
yeah.
rooting my ass off for USC for the first time
Fake
in my
fan.
life.
Fake fan. But no, I think Michigan is not a good team. I think Bryce Underwood will someday be a great quarterback, but this guy was playing high school football 9 months ago. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, he did not have enough time to get ready for this shit for this season. I think Michigan, okay defense. Yeah, Michigan has an okay defense, and they have a great running back. But besides that, this team is not that good.
Also, and I was listening to Josh Pate, I was listening to JD Piquel. Another thing a lot of people I haven't seen talk about this game, or the game against Michigan. Michigan had a lot of injuries on their offensive line. They've started a different starting offensive line unit every single week this year. That's not great. That's not great.
We will have a different offensive line unit this week.
Well, we will, but I'm saying, like, and also USC, if you go back and watch the game on defense, it wasn't like USC was just overpowering Michigan on defense. What it was is they stacked the box because they didn't respect Bryce Underwood in that passing offense, which understandably so, right? And so they were able to stack the box and stop the run.
I dare you to stack the box against.
You're not going to be able to do that against Notre Dame. They weren't able to do it against Illinois, and Illinois cooked them for over 500 yards.
Illinois lost by 57 million points to Ohio State.
So that's my thing. Is like, I think a lot of people, like we talked about, are taking too much stock into USC is this great team because they were able to blow out Michigan, who I don't think is very good. And I think that's part of why this line is so big, Ben, is because I think Vegas isn't buying that USC is all of a sudden fixed in terms of they're not the same unphysical team that Lincoln Riley's always had. They're not the same team that is soft in the trenches. Like I think Vegas was more of prove it. If you have fixed those issues, go into Notre Dame and beat them and prove that you can win a physical football game against a team that you have not been able to do in a very long time.
Like, my main thing with it is that I think we're gonna beat USC. I just don't think it's gonna be a blowout like how we're making it out to be. I just don't. There's something in football.
That running back looked good.
He did look good
against a very good defensive line.
Third string was a walk-on.
There's something in football that just makes it so this game is close. Something will happen. If it's CJ Carr doesn't have the best game, or if it's that we do something stupid, it'll be a close game. I do think we take advantage of USC on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, their corners are not going to match up well against Fields and Fajon.
Isn't Lemon a slot corner, though?
No, Lemon's a slot receiver.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I'm talking about our offense versus their defense.
I know, but like Lemon are arguably weak.
If Devontae Smith plays, then we might be saved completely
if not,
on
though,
defense.
The best slot receiver in college football on Carson Hobbs and Golden. I mean,
I don't think Hobbs plays.
Well, here's my thing. And
Hobbs didn't get until the fourth quarter this past week.
I was talking about this with Noah, and I was talking about with 229. I get that Leonard Moore is not a slot corner, but he is the best corner in college football. He is the number one rated man coverage corner in college football, according to PFF. If you're going to have a game, and Freeman was asked this a couple weeks ago, of how comfortable he felt if they needed to against elite offenses, would he feel comfortable having Leonard Moore shadow the best team's best receiver everywhere across the field, including the slot? And he said, we feel that Leonard Moore is ready to do that and capable to do that if we need him to. This is a game I feel like you need him to do that, and I would personally like to see it. I get he's not a stereotypical slot, so he would be out of position, and that could maybe cause issues, and you've never done it before. I get it. But if you're ever going to do it, this is the opponent, and this is the game I feel like you do it.
We're going to lose because of it, and Ryan's going to be like, why the fuck did you put Leonard Moore, who's an outside corner, in the slot? It makes no sense.
I don't think we have him shadow Malachi Lemon, though.
I don't either.
I don't.
Do you
I
think
just
okay?
don't.
And do you think we have him shadow Jacoby Lane then? If because Lane is
I
the
just think
outside.
we have. I think if they want to try to go out there and do what they did last year at Christian Gray, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think we're forgetting one big thing here. It might be a fucking rainstorm in this motherfucker. And we know about USC. We know about California. What we know about them?
They
Soft
don't have rain.
hands. Soft hands. They don't want to go out there and get hit by the boys from South
For the
Bend.
first time in my life, I kind of would like it to rain.
I think it would be great if it rained.
Did you
I'd love to
see?
see
It
fucking
rained when we
Lincoln.
went,
I would love to
Ryan.
see Lincoln Riley post game be like, "We have to travel east. We have to fucking do these games east. It's raining. All it's so unfair.
As you're
The
playing
weather
Ohio
beats
State.
us."
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember, Sean. Do you remember? Before we went the USC game in 23? There was projected rain, and there was a clip out there of their USC team practicing for rain, and it was, oh my god, it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They had a coach with a canister
Water
with a
hose.
sprayer, a water hose or whatever, just sitting there throwing the ball up and spraying them with water in the face. That was their way to practice for the rain. I'm like, are you like, bro?
Well, USC players, they know how to play with wet balls all the time. They're in Southern California, so at that point, you just gotta get them wet for them.
Oh,
Yes, that's a joke about USC players are gay.
Oh
It used
my
to be a
God.
professional podcast, Ryan.
Well, and now we're doing slave labor. So what's your point?
That's wild. Yeah, I think we win this game. I think it's gonna be close, but
I will say this. I only say this shit because I hate USC with all my might. I wouldn't say this about anyone else. Maybe Ohio State. But
Bobby
yeah,
says, I don't think winning by 2 scores is out of the question.
Bobby,
I don't think it is either. I just won't put my money on it.
I think it would be. This is how I have it playing out, right? I think it's going to be a thing where it's a 1-score game, and I think what's going to end up happening is, like the last 2 years against USC, I think Notre Dame's going to get a turnover, and I think that's what's going to get Notre Dame kind of that cover that 10-point spread, get them like a field goal or get them a touchdown late to kind of put it away. I think that's kind of how it plays out. I don't think it's going to be some crazy blowout like it was in 23. But I think that's kind of we all got to remember with how much Christian Gray got picked on by Mayava last year. Mayava, when he was pressured, threw a lot of interceptions. Now he's improved this year, but with how our defensive line is playing now, which is like 8 sacks in the last 2 games,
I think Boubacar Traore is going to be the best edge rusher they face all year. So I think if he's able to do something out there, then Mayova is going to fight through hell in this game. That's also assuming they throw the ball enough to where it makes a difference. If it's raining a lot, it would not shock me if they commit to like a running forward game.
if they do commit to running, I think that's where we
or short passes.
Play Rubio's had a good season.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
with how bad our defense has been this year, like in terms of totality, our run defense has been one of the best in the country. Like that's wise, we're able to stop the run. We held Miami.
Go ahead. Keep going.
We held Miami to under 4 yards a carry. We held A&M to under 4 yards a carry. Every team we faced, we've held under 4 yards a carry. That's a recipe. I feel like that's a recipe. If USC, especially if it's raining, you can't run the ball, and we just because that's what we did to them last year. They couldn't run the ball on us last year. Mayava had to drop back like 50 times last year to beat us. If you're forced to drop back 50 times in the rain in South Bend, I think that's a recipe for disaster. Personally, because you're just going to have Boubacar Traore be able to just straight tee off.
Yeah.
But what's your guys' final predictions for this game? And we'll get to our top 25 pick'ems.
Yeah, I'm going to say Notre Dame is going to win 31-27.
Ooh. Man?
I'm going to say Notre Dame wins 28-20.
I'm going to go Notre Dame 38, USC 24. So I think we give up some big plays. I think it's competitive, but I think ultimately Notre Dame gets a late game interception, late game fumble, and gets that touchdown to kind of make cover that spread. I think the over in this game is you're pretty safe to hitting it. It's one of those numbers. I feel like it's close enough, but it's gonna be tough down to the wire for sure.
Yeah, I think with this game and compared to in the past games, like 2 years ago, that was a game where we had to prove something. We had to prove like, hey, we're still able to beat these top teams. Last year, like we were playing for the playoff spot. Like we need that same intensity in this game. We need to we have to push the thing like this might be the last game here. We can't let them win the last game at Notre Dame. If we have to push a lot of intensity into this game.
And Drake Bowen's going to be the USC killer.
Hopefully.
Didn't you see the thing where he's like, fuck USC? I forgot what he said or some shit.
Well, was he in a Ford Bronco going down 45? Never mind. No one got the joke.
All right. There's our predictions for that. Again, if you want to go ahead and get these odds, go over to Novig and use code VOCFPND when you sign up. All right, let's go ahead and get to our top 25 pick'ems. There's a lot of good ones this week. Which personally, I think there's going to be a decent amount of upsets. But we'll see. All right.
Hopefully,
first game. Louisville at Miami. Louisville's. Oh. All right.
This is the one game, though, I think Miami could lose in the regular season.
Who'd you pick, Sean?
Miami, but I think this is the one game they could lose in the regular season. But
I'll go Miami too. What's the spread?
Yeah, I'll go Hurricanes. It is
at Miami. Right?
Miami's a 13.5-point favorite.
I would take the plus 13.5, but I would still go Miami.
At Miami, right?
Yeah, it's at Miami.
At Miami.
Yeah, they're winning this game.
All right. Nebraska at Minnesota. Nebraska's a 7.5-point favorite.
I'm going to pick Nebraska.
Matt Rule's too worried about the Penn State job. Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Golden Gophers as well.
This is a playoff killer loss.
Number 10 LSU at number 17 Vandy. Vanderbilt is a 9.5 or 2.5-point favorite.
I'm not going first for this one.
I'm going Vandy. Give me Vanderbilt.
LSU.
LSU hasn't looked good. They struggled last week against South Carolina. Vandy's looking good. It's tough because I think LSU's better than Vandy, but I also think that LSU isn't good. I'm gonna pick Vanderbilt.
All right. Georgia Tech at Duke.
Duke is this game.
Duke is a 1.5-point favorite.
Yep. Duke.
Give me Georgia Tech and give me the under 61.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take Duke in the upset on this one. Georgia Tech squeaked out a game against Wake Forest. They should have lost. This one on the road at.
See, I'm doing a little bit of reverse psychology here, boys. Hear me out. I'm doing a little bit of reverse psychology. Whenever I pick Georgia Tech to lose these big games, they win. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech to win, then they lose. Just some reverse. I'm brain fucking here.
All right, Oklahoma at South Carolina. Oklahoma's a 5.5-point favorite.
South Carolina.
Yeah, I was going to say there's something about these games. You look at and hear me out. You look at Penn State. Penn State loses their first top ranked game of the season to Oregon at home, and then they go the next week. They got to go on the road and they play UCLA and they lose to a worse team that has some star power in certain areas. Shane Beamer's job is on the line. Give me, fucking Christ, give me South Carolina. Another team is going to compare to is Notre Dame, also losing their next close one.
Give me the Gamecocks.
Notre Dame.
Give me the Gamecocks in this one.
We lost to Miami, then we lost to A&M.
Oh.
Like you lose the next game after you lose your first
I
big
think
one.
Oklahoma is a solid team now. I was wrong about them earlier. I think they rushed Mateer back last week, and I don't know if the team is going to bounce back. So that's why I picked South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to win one of these big games, whether it's Oklahoma.
And the other thing is, I've also seen Shane Beamer also supposedly is on the hot seat. I think he tries to battle his way back. I think this is one way to do it.
All right.
For my fantasy league, I've won my college football pick'ems. I think like 2-3 weeks in a row, or like 3 of the last 4 weeks or something. So I'm hyped.
All right, Texas A&M at Arkansas.
Texas A&M, which I feel like if Arkansas beats A&M, it helps Notre Dame, but hurts Notre Dame. And then if A&M,
It kind of like it's like
we need Texas A&M to win, but I think A&M will win.
I think it'll be close. Arkansas has been very competitive in each of their games outside of the Notre Dame game, but I think Texas A&M gets the win. Ole Miss at Georgia.
I picked Georgia to win this game. Oh my God, I'm picking a lot of upsets.
That's not an upset.
Ranking wise, it is.
Okay, I was about to say I think they're like 8-point favorites.
Georgia's a 7.5-point favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't view upsets based off of spread.
The
I view
spread.
upsets based off of rankings.
Okay.
Which I get it's controversial, but I'm like, oh, this seems better.
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia.
Hey, give me the Bulldogs.
Fucking afraid
all
of
right.
copying everybody.
Gosh.
Texas Tech at Arizona State.
Texas Tech wins this because I don't think Leavitt plays again.
Arizona State wins this because I was told today that Leavitt is playing.
Well, I live in Arizona, and I could be stupid, but I haven't talked about it, so I need to
give me the former fighting Cam Scadaboos, the creatine Caucasian.
I'm changing my pick.
All of our picks happened this weekend. What a crazy weekend of college football.
No, I think Arizona State. I've been told by Big 12 people that Sam Leavitt is fully intended on playing because this is
plays, though, I still think they lose. But,
well, they're saying that this is the playoff killer right here. This is their season killer if they don't win this game. So they're being told that Sam Leavitt's playing.
Oregon at Rutgers. Does Oregon recover from their win or their loss against Indiana?
Yes, Oregon beats Rutgers.
Oh, Rutgers could do the funniest thing ever. And I said it about UCLA and I didn't take them. Give me Rutgers. Give me the Rutgers upset. And I will be throwing a nice $20 bill on Rutgers money line because they could be doing the funniest thing ever. And I said, you remember, I said UCLA could do the funniest thing ever 2 weeks ago. And I said I might throw money on it. I decided not to. And then they did it.
Dude, our college football talk group chat would go insane. With
all my God. All the Oregon fans, the Big Ten fans would know what to think. They're like, is Indiana the best team in the Big Ten?
Texas at Kentucky.
Give me Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, give me Texas as well.
At Kentucky.
It's at Kentucky.
Give me Texas.
Tennessee at Alabama.
I'm going to pick Alabama to win the game.
Yeah, roll Tide.
I don't think they lose against Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee. I'm just going opposite. I can't agree with you guys that much. We lose the brand.
Right. Missouri at Auburn. Night game at Jordan Hare.
Give me Auburn to win this game. I picked like 7 upsets this week. 5, I think. But
shit, give me Missouri.
Give me Auburn. I think they're going to bounce back after. It could be the opposite. Watch them get their ass beat because they lost all bit of confidence in the Georgia game. But,
I'm going to take Missouri just because I think Hugh Freeze is just done coaching football. I think he wants to get fired.
And Deuce Knight can enter the transfer portal.
Knight comes back to Notre Dame.
Give me the Tigers in this one. Utah at BYU. I'm surprised none of you got that. But okay.
Because they're both Tigers.
Tigers, yes. Yeah. I'm taking Auburn, though. I'm taking Auburn.
I figured. Yeah. The Holy War is an interesting one. I'm going to pick BYU.
Give me the former fighting BY Jews. There you go.
Whoa! Sean, we used to be a professional show. We used to be a professional show. Like what the
We
fuck?
used to be a professional show, and then Ben joined, and now everybody.
Yeah, now we're making Jew jokes. Jeez.
Barstool sponsor us.
Fucking Christ.
Oh, I hate Barstool, man. They're all fucking idiots.
I'm about to say Dave Portnoy's Jewish. I don't think he'd like a Jew joke.
Ben, who are you taking in this one?
Well, give me Utah.
Before anyone gets offended, Ben is Jewish, so. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
We're gonna stop the conversation. Give me Utah. We didn't even talk about the best fucking matchup this week, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Cincinnati at Oklahoma State?
Bro, that's a top fucking 25 matchup.
Give me Cincinnati.
Give me the Bearcats.
Oklahoma State riding on a fucking 5-game losing streak.
Hey, I want to talk about this. Who's Virginia play?
Washington State
At Washington State.
at home.
At home. I'm going to pick Virginia, but I think it's very interesting that everyone's talking about the ESPN notification that a one-loss Virginia doesn't get in. I think if a one-loss Power 4 school gets left out of a 12-team playoff, that's an issue. However, I don't think Virginia will be a one-loss team because I think if they are, then they'll go to the ACC championship and lose. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if a one-loss Virginia gets left out of the playoffs, I think that's atrocious.
Oh my God, they're going to Florida State, Virginia. They're going to Florida State, Virginia.
Oh, all right.
Or they're going to fucking Florida State, Miami, and say Miami won too close to the fucking ACC championship and not give them a bye.
All right. Well, for all the 129 people watching, make sure you go over to the Voice of College Football Notre Dame YouTube channel. Drop a sub, like, comment.
I just want to show my proof I am gambling on Rutgers money line, so no one calls me a bitch.
You sending it?
I'm gonna show it on the screen.
All right, bet.
Here we go, $20 right there. This is totally via. You can't see
Social
it.
Security number and his credit card
And
number.
He's totally using Novig, by the way.
You can't really see it, but it's $20, 100. No, I mean I use it all the time.
Yeah,
I use it all the time. It's one of the best apps I've ever used. Totally is a cryptocurrency scam, but yeah. There you go. My Novik account, 20 to win 125 on Rutgers money line.
Make 2025 the winner now.
Yeah, what would he?
Dude, that's my favorite part. And
what would he think about? What would he think about my Rutgers pick? That's what I want to know.
Do they update it in 2026? Because that is my favorite part of the video. Like it's ingrained in my head. When I bet, I think it when I do. I don't bet often.
Yeah, that's a good question. Wait, when season ends and we're in college basketball, is it going to be like a college basketball? Are we turning this into a college football thing, or are we keeping it
college basketball?
Okay.
So it's going to be all Notre Dame. So yeah,
we'll talk Notre Dame baseball and basketball occasionally. But
I'm about to say, so we're gonna have to make up topics come like fucking February.
Yeah. Me and Ryan have been doing that for 3 years now.
It'll mainly be a lot of recruiting.
I can't wait to talk about for the third week in a row about a recruit that's not committing for another 2 months. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Like I said, for all the
thank you for joining for that.
Yeah. Go. Shut up.
All
right. Anyways, guys, we'll be back next week.
That golden brick.
As always, stay safe and go Irish.
Go Irish.